En-Mao's Raw review for the 30th of March 2015. Hi everyone and all the M-Maniacs, and welcome to the first ever review of Raw that I'm doing. I did a review of Wrestlemania 31 the other day, and I enjoyed talking to you all about something I love to watch. I enjoy playing video games and I enjoy making videos. So I've decided why not combine the three together and try and bring you a weekly review of WWE programming. So without further ado, let's get on with today's review of WWE Raw from the 30th of March 2015. So Raw this week comes from the SAP Arena in San Jose, California, and it's probably the biggest and most important Raw of the year, coming off the back of WrestleMania, as this is where the fallout for the previous night settles. So as Raw starts, Brock Lesnar's music hits and a cut-up Brock heads to the ring with Paul Heyman. They chat about the previous night, about how Brock suplexed Roman Reigns so much and how he dominated the match. Then Paul Heyman complains about how Seth Rollins cashed in the Money in the Bank and curb stomped everyone, and then pinned the challenger and not the champion, making him the most undeserving champion in the WWE ever. Paul Heyman then goes on a rant about how he wanted to get a legal team to go into the WWE and tie them up in knots. He then turns around and says that Brock Lesnar isn't into doing it that way and wants to just hurt people. So he says that he will invoke his rematch clause for the WWE title. Tonight, the crowd go absolutely wild. Next thing, Stephanie McMahon's music hits, and she says that they will have to see how Rollins feels when he arrives from his interviews that he's been doing, that Brock should have been doing. But unfortunately, because Brock lost, he isn't doing the interviews. So she says that when Seth Rollins lands, because he's in the air at the moment, he will be able to decide whether he's going to have the match or not. The WWE Universe chant Ronda Rousey's name because of what happened at the pay-per-view last night. This infuriates Stephanie, and she says that if they want the WWE title match, then they're to no longer chant her name. Stephanie then okays the match and says that if Rollins agrees to it, it can go ahead. Paul Heyman says that Brock will win and that he will become the new WWE champion once again. Next thing, John Cena has offered an open challenge to anyone for the WWE US title, and Daniel Bryan is putting his Intercontinental title on the line, the title that he won last night, and that is up against Dolph Ziggler, and that match is next. Daniel Bryan comes out to the crowd of yes chants, and personally I think that this match should have been a WrestleMania match between these two competitors. Bad News Barrett is on commentary at ringside complaining about losing his title without being pinned. Anyway, back to the match, and technically it's awesome. A lot of mat wrestling mixed with some submission moves, and as the match goes back and forth, there's a load of aerial spots and fantastic maneuvers. This match could quite easily have replaced several from the WrestleMania 31 card. After several high-risk maneuvers and a massive headbutt fight in the middle of the ring, Daniel Bryan finally scores the pin after a running knee. Daniel Bryan is still the Intercontinental Champion after Raw. Bad News Barrett enters the ring and starts assaulting Daniel Bryan while he celebrates the win. Sheamus' music hits, and the Celtic Warrior, sporting a new haircut that looks like Beaker from the Muppet Show and a beard that Jack Sparrow would be proud of, sprints to the ring, seemingly to come to the aid of Daniel Bryan. He goes straight for Barrett, and then when Barrett escapes, he turns and delivers a bro kick to Daniel Bryan. He then goes on and attacks Dolph Ziggler. Ziggler tries to fight back, but Sheamus delivers the white noise and stops the attack straight away. The crowd chant, "You look stupid." Sheamus soaks it all up, just gets the mic and says, "I'm back," and then leaves the ring. Apparently now, Seth Rollins has now entered the arena. WWE shows highlights of the WWE Hall of Fame induction from last night, and also shows the class of 2015. The next matchup is an 8-man tag match between the Ascension, Tyson, Kidd and Cesaro, and they're going against New Day and a brand new tag team of the Luchadragons, Kalisto and Sin Cara. They're making their debut on Raw right next. The match starts with Cesaro against Sin Cara. Cesaro power moves his way through from the start of the match, and then he dominates Kalisto with the power too. Suddenly, Kalisto pulls off some move that's like a flip into a spin, into a Hurricane Rana, and it looks absolutely awesome. This guy is going to go far with moves like this. He is a proper luchador. Big E is tagged into the ring, and Cesaro tags Connor in from Ascension. Kofi tags in and then does his 3-second bit. Then he tags Sin Cara. Connor takes over Sin Cara with power and throws him into his corner where the attack continues. Several tags later and Connor is back in the ring. Sin Cara hits an enziguri on Connor and makes a tag to Kofi again. Connor then tags in Tyson Kidd. Kofi does his usual drop kicks, air punches and floating around, and then he hits the boom drop on Tyson Kidd. Cesaro tags in, and with Kidd they double team Kofi. Victor tags himself in, and Cesaro is not impressed with this at all. They stand there arguing in the corner, and the referee tells Cesaro to get out of the ring. Kofi manages to get away and tags in Kalisto. Several action-paced moves, and he goes for the pin. Cesaro saves him. Big E suplexes Cesaro, and Tyson Kidd gets the same into Cesaro. Connor then scores a big boot. Kofi and Kalisto then enter the ring. The double drop kick Connor out of the ring. Kofi then suicide dives to the outside, taking out Cesaro, Kidd and Connor. Victor enters the ring. Kalisto hits a spectacular finish out. I'm not too certain what it's called. And 1, 2, 3, and it's over. The Luchadragons get the pin, and I'm very impressed by what I've seen. It's like Rey Mysterio or Eso Rios making their debuts again. This Kalisto will go far if he does moves like this all the time. That was absolutely awesome. Next thing, Paul Heyman and Brock Lesnar are in the locker room. Heyman tells Brock, "You won't believe this, he's here," and they head out to the ring. A promo for a UK superstar called Neville from NXT is shown, and he's spinning in the air in slow motion. I guess he'll be making his Raw debut soon. Brock and Paul Heyman come out to the ring ready for their title match. Seth Rollins appears and goes with J&J security to the ring. This is going to be good if it actually happens. Rollins walks straight up to Brock and thrusts the belt into his face. He's so arrogant, but he's so perfect. Just as the match is about to start, Rollins rolls out of the ring, goes over to the commentators table and says that he's too jet lagged to have a match, so it won't happen. He then says he will give the rematch, but another night. Lesnar snaps. He goes absolutely apeshit. He gets Rollins and he tries to get him with a suplex. As he does so, Rollins lands on his feet and manages to run away through the crowd. Lesnar goes absolutely crazy. This completely infuriates the guy, and he starts attacking anyone in his path. He smashes the commentator tables into JBL and Booker T, and then he grabs Michael Cole and F5s him so hard in the ring that his shoes fly off. Brock then grabs a cameraman and sets him up for an F5. Stephanie McMahon comes out and she's pleading with Brock Lesnar to let him go. She's telling him to let go of the civilian, put him down, you don't need to F5 him, he's not a wrestler. Brock smiles sadistically and then F5s the cameraman. Holy shit, that is crazy. I am so glad I don't work at WWE when Brock is on a mental one. Stephanie then turns around and suspends Brock indefinitely with immediate effect and tells him to get out of the building. That could have kind of worked against Brock now, but the thing is, we know that he's just signed a new contract with WWE, so I don't know how this is going to play out. I suppose it's just going to take him off the telly and add to his part-time contract that he's currently sitting on at the moment. Him and Paul Heyman leave the building. After the break, Michael Cole is still getting medical treatment at the side of the ring, and it's so quiet. There's nothing being said over the mics, and all you can see is Michael Cole getting fixed. The WWE is so weird without commentary. Stephanie goes backstage and starts speaking to Renee Young, justifying her decision to suspend Brock Lesnar for endangering WWE employees. Stephanie says that the suspension isn't enough for what he's done and will also fine him for his actions. Stephanie then says that Brock has just signed a new WWE contract, so he can't take himself back to MMA, so now she owns that son of a bitch. There's an advert for Wrestlemania 32 in Texas, and as we all know now that will be on April the 3rd, 2016, so stick that in your calendars, guys. It'll be a good one. Bryan Saxton comes out and he continues the commentary for the WWE. The next match is Damian Sandow against Stardust. Byron tells everyone about how Mizdow eliminated The Miz in the Andre the Giant match last night, effectively severing his ties with The Miz. I think that this is a good thing, and I hope that Sandow now receives the push that he deserves for being made a fool of over the past few months. Stardust takes advantage at the start of the match and gives Mizdow a beating for the first few minutes. Stardust thinks he's hearing things and Mizdow starts to take over. This Stardust character that Cody Rhodes is playing at the moment is a little too weird for me to enjoy, especially as I've seen many characters already portrayed by Cody. Personally, I believe that if Cody wasn't related to the American Dream Dusty Rhodes, he would have been released a long time ago. He needs to get with one character and stick to it, in my opinion. I loved it where he used to give out the bags to people and put it on people's heads where he was the dashing Cody Rhodes. But this Stardust character, a little bit too strange for me, I'm afraid. Anyway, a short, boring match ends when the Mizdow hits a skull-crushing finale and takes the win. The celebration is short-lived though, because the Miz predictably runs out to the ring and attacks Mizdow. He then hits a skull-crushing finale on Mizdow and then talks smack to an incapacitated Mizdow, blaming him about his loss at WrestleMania last night and how he should have won the Andre the Giant Memorial Trophy. Bore off. Raw comes back after the ad break and starts showing highlights about what happened last night between The Rock and Stephanie, Ronda Rousey and Triple H. If you want to know more about that, check out my WrestleMania 31 review. The link will be in the description below. Curtis Axel is now in the ring, saying that he should have won the Andre the Giant Battle Royale, and he's still ripping off the Hulkamania persona, brother. Anyway, some new music hits, and it's time for the debut of Neville. He makes his way to the ring with the moniker, the man who gravity forgot. Okay. He starts off with some high-flying moves. The crowd are behind him and he's agile and quick and isn't afraid of flying. This match is very short and basically it's a squash match for Neville against Curtis Axel. Neville hits what he calls the Red Arrow, which is a modified corkscrew moonsault, and gets the pin. It's very impressive, and it will be good to see a decent feud with Neville and another high flyer and not really a jobber. There's another ad break and then Byron Saxton returns saying that Michael Cole has suffered a cervical fracture. Now I thought this was a bit of a joke, obviously because of it being a cervix, being on a woman. I thought they were trying to make a joke about Michael Cole being a woman. Anyway, I googled this and a cervical fracture is actually a broken neck. So I guess we won't be seeing Michael Cole for a long time now. It's John Cena's match next, and John Cena comes out to booze, and it's time for him to put his US title on the line against any wrestler in the back locker room. Everyone expects Rusev to answer the call and invoke his rematch clause. Everyone's surprised though when Dean Ambrose does this instead. Because the last time everyone saw Dean Ambrose, he was getting medical attention at the side of the ring because he had just been powerbombed through a ladder on the outside of the ring by Luke Harper from inside the ring. Anyway, this championship match is nothing special up until the part where Dean Ambrose tries to get John Cena to submit using the STFU submission hold. The match continues a little while longer after this when Super Cena hits the AA and gets the win. Personally, I would like Cena to have dropped the belt to Ambrose because I don't think the US title on Cena is a good idea. He's a world heavyweight champion, for God's sake, not a US champion. Oh well, there's always next time. Ambrose and Cena shake hands, and that's it, the match is over. Renee Young interviews Seth Rollins backstage about what happened at WrestleMania and what happened tonight with regards Brock Lesnar. Seth says that he was entitled to cash in the Money in the Bank match whenever he wanted. Seth says that he was entitled to cash in the Money in the Bank briefcase whenever he wanted, and he saw the opportunity and he took it. Randy Orton shows up and reminds Rollins that he beat him last night and now Randy is after the title. Rollins gets Kane and Big Show standing behind him and offers a 6-man tag match if Randy can find 2 partners for the main event tonight. The weird thing about Rollins offering this match though is that earlier he refused to fight Lesnar because he was jet lagged. I guess the jet lag made him forget this. So now Randy has to find 2 partners for this main event. The next match is a 6 Diva tag match made up from AJ Lee, Paige and Naomi versus the Bella Twins and Natalya. There's nothing special about this match and it just seems like a long filler match for people to just look at the Divas. When it comes to wrestling, they're not the greatest, and as you can probably tell, I'm not a massive fan of Diva wrestling. They're nice to look at, but that's about it. AJ eventually tags Naomi. Nikki Bella tries to punch Naomi and she ducks. Nikki hits Brie Bella in the face, and in her shock she turns around to get an ass in the face straight from the rear view of Naomi, who scores the pin and the victory for AJ, Paige and Naomi. End of the match. Not the best match ever. Randy Orton is in the locker room looking for a partner. Ryback is also in there and he wants some authority revenge, so he offers his services to Randy. Randy now has his first partner for the main event tonight. So it's time for the next match and Goldust is standing in the ring. Who comes out but Rusev? Everybody thought Rusev wasn't here. This is really weird. I don't get why he's coming out to fight Goldust when Cena offered an open title shot and Rusev could have gone and got his title back from last night. It seems pointless. Goldust starts the match quickly, but Rusev eventually powers into control of this match. Apparently, Rusev is not happy because he lost his unbeaten streak in the WWE and tries to really hurt Goldust. Next thing, WWE goes back to the propaganda about Russia versus America and how America is the greatest nation on the earth. I just wish that they would quit this bullshit. It isn't needed at WWE events. We know that America's a big place. We know that Russia's a big place. Who cares if they could take each other on? I'm here for the wrestling, not for political propaganda bullshit. Anyway, Rusev takes out Goldust with the Acklay and Jerry Lawler says that this is the start of another long unbeaten run. I guess we'll see. So it's time for the final match of the night, the main event, and Seth Rollins, Big Show and Kane versus Randy Orton, Ryback and who else? Everyone enters the ring to their intros, and will this end up being a handicap match? No, Roman Reigns' music hits and he comes to join the party as the third and final man to Randy's team. The match starts off and goes backwards and forwards for the momentum of both teams, and Roman Reigns doesn't look half as damaged as what he was last night after the Brock Lesnar fight. I think Randy's team seemed to have the upper hand for most of the match, and eventually, after a very good match, the big Raw finish is set up. Reigns sets up for the Superman punch on Kane. Big Show catches him and throws a punch at Reigns. He misses and Reigns continues and hits Kane with the punch. Big Show then spears Reigns as he turns around. Ryback enters the ring and does a shell shock on the Big Show. Ryback is then curb stomped by Rollins. He turns around to find that Reigns is now back on his feet. Reigns goes for the spear, but Rollins jumps over it. Kane grabs Reigns and goes for the choke slam. Then an RKO straight out of nowhere. Randy Orton comes in and hits him on Kane. Kane gets up straight into the spear by Roman Reigns. 1, 2 and 3, and Randy wins with Reigns and Ryback. Rollins isn't happy, and that's pretty much how Raw goes off the air. Not before they inform everybody that Sting is going to be interviewed about his future in the WWE over on the WWE Network. So if you guys will excuse me, I'm just going to go and watch that. Thanks for watching this Raw review. I hope you've enjoyed it. I'll see you next week for more. Bye for now.
We knew he felt he had to win this one tonight. I mean, there's absolutely no way to underscore how big this victory is. Perhaps the biggest in his life.
So, I hope you all enjoyed this week's Raw review. If you did, hit the like button and share the video with your friends. Please leave a comment about wrestling in the comment section, and please subscribe to my channel for more wrestling videos and gameplay videos. Click the screen in the centre for more wrestling reviews. Once again, thanks for watching. I hope to see you on the next video, and until then, bye for now.